Hello everyone. Today on Binky's Gaming Thoughts, I conclude the Canticle of Trials from the Chant of Light. And as far as we know, for all the canticles and verses that we have seen so far, it will also conclude the Chant of Light until more verses have been found and or revealed. More Codex Entries, basically. Do not grieve for me, maker of all. Though all others may forget you, your name is etched into my every step. I will not forsake you, even if I forget myself. So here DarthShadie is promising to forget who she is before she will ever forget the Maker. Since he claims he was forgotten, well, now he has forgotten his children. Again, a link to the forgotten ones. Or maybe it's the desire that truth be forgotten. And it was. Much truth was forgotten. Maker, though the darkness comes upon me. So as someone dies, unless it means the darkness that night engulfs the world. It could mean the blights as the darkness engulfing the world in darkness. It could be another hole in the sky or something like that, tearing down the veil. Anything related to that also. I shall embrace the light. The light, the fire, that is the Maker. The blight. I shall weather the storm. The blight. I shall endure. What you have created, no one can tear asunder. Oh, but it can be torn asunder, as the world has already been torn asunder. Lavellan destroyed, and Thedas created. And it shall be again, if Thedas is destroyed, and either Lavellan will be restored, or a third world created. Who knows me as you do? No one does, I'm guessing. You have been there since before my first breath. That, regardless who the Maker is actually accurate. You have seen me when no other would recognize my face. She was a slave, and she became a somebody. She was someone to the Maker. You compose the cadence of my heart. Through blinding mist I climb, a sheer cliff, the summit shrouded in fog. 9 sacred mountains, the frost-backed mountains. The base, endlessly far beneath my feet. The Maker is the rock to which I cling. This analogy could be referencing the sacred mountains, but it does make me think of the stone. This verse could have originally been from the dwarven hymns worshipping the stone before its alterations. I cannot see the path is dark. Perhaps there is only abyss. Here lies the abyss, a plummet into the fade. Do not hesitate to leap. Trembling, I step forward, in darkness enveloped, in war, victory, in peace, vigilance, in death, sacrifice. Though all before me is shadow, yet shall the Maker be my guide. The light of the Maker guiding through death makes me think of Fallon Dean, the guide, friend of the dead. Perhaps another verse that was originally dedicated to the Evaniris, or maybe perhaps even Fallon Dean himself. I shall not be left to wander the drifting roads of the beyond, for there is no darkness in the Maker's light, and nothing that he has wrought shall be lost. Thing is, if there is a Maker, what he wrought originally has been lost and replaced by Thedas, and it could be lost again. unless there is an indication to a temporary loss, and Elvenan can indeed be restored. But I believe that Thedas will be destroyed, and Elvenan will further be destroyed. Like, any chance of restoring is non-existent. Like, a third thing will be created, third world. I am not alone, even as I stumble on the path. With my eyes closed, yet I see the light is here. The guide, death, the afterlife in the fade. Draw your last breath, my friends. Cross the veil and the fade, and all the stars in the sky. Entering the fade, the death in this case. Rest at the Maker's right hand and be forgiven. The right hand of the divine represents the fighter and protector, the defender. Left hand is the more covert operator. But there is no mention of the Maker's different hands, aside from the beings being works of both the Maker's hands. It's interesting, and I'm sure there's more to it than that. I might be missing something also. Let me know if there's something more I should check out for this. Trials 5. Maker, though I am but one, I have called in your name. The same way each high priest and priestess called in their God's name, and were but one each individually, each old god speaking to only one other being. The Maker only spoke to Andraste. Maybe whispered. But maybe the Maker speaks while the other gods whisper to make the Maker's voice louder and predominant above the voice of the said false gods. And those who come to serve will know your glory. I remembered for them. Remembered a forgotten one? They will see what can be gained. And though we are few against the wind, we are yours. Being devout followers of the Maker, be him one of the many gods in Soul Vanquisher or the Soul God. Trials 15. Though I am flesh, your light is ever present. So a piece of the fire or the fade lives within each person. That's interesting. And those I have called, they remember, and they shall endure. Well, it's not quite that they remember per se. They were told of the Maker, of the Maker's existence, and chose to believe in him. Not quite the same as forgetting and then remembering in your lifetime. Those who followed Andraste never forgot the Maker. Let's get this straight. No, the people who followed Andraste, they never forgot the Maker. They didn't know he existed. You can't forget if you just don't know. They were unaware of his existence. I'm defending the nuances, lol. And they chose to believe that they had forgotten. But maybe more references to forgotten ones, who knows. I shall sing with them the chant of light. And all will know, all will be told about the Maker, and those who follow him will henceforth remember and spread the message. We are yours, and none shall stand before us. Hence why there were exalted marches, and they claim to be stronger than other armies or followers of other gods. And this brings back to the teachings that they must spread the chant of light. Not much different, like the Kuhn kind of wanting to force it on someone that gives that impression for some of the more radical followers of the Maker. The belief that when it is sung across all of Thedas, the Maker will return. I'm not sure that's really going to happen. I'm not sure the Maker is going to return. And I'm pretty sure the maker is going to return before that happens. So that might not be true, necessarily. And that concludes the Chant of Light with all the verses as we know them today in this Dragon Age, concluding the Canticle of Trials. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And be sure if you missed any in the past to check out my analyses of all the other canticles in the Chant of Light. As usual, like this video if you like it, subscribe to be Rosie approved, and I'll see you all soon. Masaranas. If you're new here and you like my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Alternately, you can follow my website, binkyproductions.com, where I post everything from all my channels. Be sure to check out some of my other stuff. You can also join in on the fun on Patreon for some random, sporadic, occasional, exclusive content. Otherwise, just liking and sharing, like it if you like it, for the like it if you like it dance, supports this channel and helps people find it. And your continued viewership is very much appreciated. Masaranas.